Good morning. Hello, everybody. Wherever you are, we want to say welcome to a radio. To a radio is a global internet radio station. We are broadcasting from the US and to Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. Today, we have another edition of Inside Liberia, looking at events that are unfolding in that part of the world. We have two correspondents today, and one is in Maryland County, and of course, we have Abraham Colley, who is in Mustard County. Langston Joe Wilson is a correspondent who is based in Maryland County. These farm broadcast journalists are with us this morning, giving us updates on the unfolding events taking place in Liberia. Right now, we go to Maryland County and speak to Langston Joe Wilson. Langston, welcome to a radio again. How is Maryland County?
Yes, Maryland is good. At least we are experiencing the blessings of God by the rising, sun.
Okay. And so, before you tell us the two major events, how is Maryland? I mean, we would like to hear about the exchange rate and the weather condition and the atmosphere. How is it?
Yes, just as I said, Maryland is good. Right now we have the sun shining. The exchange rate and the issue of school fees. The most talk about songs in the county. Let's say the most talk about song in the county now. It was on Monday this week when a local radio station held a talk show where immediately after the Minister of Education spoke on the state radio ELBC, they were able to phone into the county education officer and ask him why is it that, according to the stipulation by the Ministry of Education, each of those students from senior secondary session should be paying at least 3,000 Liberian dollars, and currently they are paying more than 7,000 Liberian dollars. And he was able to tell the guy who was conducting the show that he should be asking the media because they are hearing the reports and supposed to investigate it. So his statement was greeted, with mixed view from the citizens that being the representative of the Ministry of Education and giving his responsibility to the media, they felt that it was a disservice to the people, and in fact, he's in the know of the increase in the school fees for this year. So as we speak currently, the exchange rate is $140 to $1 US.
Okay. Is that good in terms of the prices of goods?
The prices of goods, in fact, increase. One of those I spoke with yesterday, one Omega Jeffen, he's a local businessman, also work with one of the GSM companies here. He has his business center, and he said normally the pack of zinc he used to buy $75 75 USD. But when he went back to buy it, and he told the Fulani businessman he bought it from that he had US, the man decided to say it was $90 instead of $75. So that is the situation here.
Okay, let's go straight down into the issues that you have for today. We are told that there is information about a 27-year-old man and the bridge situation, meaning the road condition in that part of Liberia. So what is happening about the 27-year-old man?
Yes, Maryland County is on record, especially when it comes to this ritualistic killing. Since top time, there had been It was on day 4 yesterday that the officers of the Liberia National Police have charged a 27-year-old man identified as Henry Weir. According to what we have gotten from the police, Henry Weir came from Sino, according to him, on Sunday evening around 11 p.m. and lodged with one of his uncle in the New Plibo community by the name of Papa God. So When he left from there on Monday morning, because he said he's a resident of Ivory Coast, he said he was going back to Ivory Coast when he met a 23-year-old motorcyclist identified as Samuel Dallier, and he told him that he was coming to Plibo parking. So when they got to the central parking, he got down from the bike and changed his money that he had. So he said he was going to one border called Patahidia border.
Okay.
So while they were on their way, approaching the border, then he said he changed his mind that he was going to another border, that is the upper part of Kavala River, Jeke Town border, where his sister was, and he wanted to be with his sister for some time. So the cyclist did not hesitate, but he requested that his money be added to. So he said he accepted to add to the transportation fare. So they went, and there is a checkpoint before the border. When they reached to the checkpoint, he had a knife, shot himself.
Oh, wow.
And the security attendant did not get to himself, so they only charged his bag. After charging his bag, they left. They left and started to stab the from all sides. So that's how they fell. And he was trying to chase the guy before another cyclist came from opposite direction who rescued the guy. So according to the guy who rescued the cyclist, Samuel Dallier, he said Samuel was like running, and when he heard the crying sound, that's how he stood and decided to ask as to what was happening, whether it was just a mere fight. Before Samuel said, "Oh, this guy is stabbing me." So he was able to convince.
Listen, Joey, it's like you're having some internet.
Committed committing the act, but he said the cyclist was the first who started stabbing him.
Okay, so
stabbing you at the back.
Okay,
so police started.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
You were talking about the police, and so has this man been arrested and charged, sent to court, or
Yeah,
what?
so police, yes. Yes, he was sent to court on Tuesday. He was sent to court. He was charged with armed robbery, criminal attempt to commit murder, and aggravated assault. And according to police, his charges are in keeping with chapter 1 and 14.20 of the new revised criminal law of Liberia. So currently, as we speak, he's under investigation. I believe because I didn't visit the court yesterday to know as to whether he was investigated. The case was heard and he was sent to prison.
So the 27-year-old man, what is the condition right now? You have an idea?
So I have to make a follow-up.
Okay. So we see that you are experiencing some internet situation right there. So we'll come right back to you. Just be on standby. Let's go right to Abraham Colley. Abraham, welcome to 2A Radio, and tell us the environment of Monrovia this morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jensen, and let me say good morning to the followers, those who are following us, and those who listen to us now. It's a pleasure. Montserrat is kind this morning. As you may be aware, today is Thanksgiving Day, and it's been observed as a national holiday in Liberia and other parts of the world. So as we speak, people are gearing towards celebrating a day in the churches, those on the Christian background. Going about celebrating as well. So Montserrat is kind, and as the heat of campaign arises within the impending by-election in 4 of Liberia's 15 counties, have taken the lead of doing a parade or probably a patrol in all of the counties that they have their candidates contesting within the by-election. So Montserrat is good this morning.
Okay, let's talk about the roles again. The public work minister who spoke yesterday, and let's see what is happening from his end.
All right. The public work minister on acting public work minister on yesterday spoke at a special Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism press briefing, which was scheduled on yesterday due to today being a holiday. And then she stressed on two key issues that that caught them at the attention of all citizens residing within a country. Now, the issue of road connectivity is one of the key factor, key sector that people look at currently because without the issue of roads, those locally produced commodities that needed to be brought to people within the capital will not reach. And then she lays the rules from let's leave. She actually forget about Monserrato. The only rule she made emphasis on was where we did the live broadcast on the other day, Vinegar Road intersection where we spoke the other day, and then the Gabriel Tucker Bridge. She made mention of that. They are galvanizing funds and working with other partners and the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning to see as to whether they can do a full pavement because according to her, they don't want to do a part-time thing that at the end of the day they will have to go and redo. So they need funds that will enable the ministry to do full pavement of that road, finish it to the fullest that inhabitants can actually be using it. But then leaving the other routes that are to Nizo Junction going down to the community itself, passing through to Park Office Junction. When you go to Nizo Junction, using that route to go down to the Thomas P. Fowler School Academy, you find out that in that dish, Mr. Jensen will attract it will call your attention that to tell you that there are so many places that the public work ministries in the country, in a city, need to settle before going to the rural aspect. So they got lots of work to do with the issue of traffic lights. Again, the other day when she appeared, we asked her, she said that those traffic lights will be planted at strategic places. Only a few traffic lights, and some of them are not even functioning. The time for
Yeah,
pedestrian to cross the road, you will see vehicle passing. The time for vehicle to stop, another level tells you that the time for pedestrian to cross the road, and that which is confusing. They have not let in the minds of citizens on the radio. They have not done that. People are yet to understand. You get less to Kongwatan along the when it comes from Capital Building down to UL, they got a light from the other end to Jonathan John intersection there to Orange GSN Office Center. Moreover, they got another light. And then when you leave there, it comes to Broad Street leading to where UMU University is. They got
yeah,
another light, but all of those lights are not functioning. It's not functioning. So it causes serious harm for us because some of us who don't own our own vehicle, our own motorbikes, when you try crossing the road, when the red light don't come on in five
right.
or 10 minutes time, like you said, you cause problem. Somebody mistakenly when somebody hits you, you pay for the person, you pay for the person damaged vehicle or damaged stuff. So the public work ministries in the country needs to first settle the situation in the capital before leaving to go to rural. There are lots of work they need to do, and to be honest, people are putting their all. Their partners that are giving that are funding some of those
Right.
road projects. There are partners that are funding some of those road projects. But the fact remains, they sit apparently they are not. Doing that. They are not performing their tasks at all.
Yeah, we know about the
So
road
the road
situation.
connectivity remain
Go
poor.
ahead, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's why I think the situation keep intensifying because if you don't settle the city side, how can you settle the rural side? You got lots of work to do from the Banga to Menekoma Highway Road. You got lots of work to do from the Ganta region to go all the way to Grand Gide and Waterview. And then you say this when the dry season you can work. Dry season is here. And then you select few roads that you think will be your mind that the probably the money you get can only keep out to that portion of the road. Why the other ones are in deplorable condition? They are getting damaged every day. The more you pay less attention. Heavy trucks, those vehicle pass every day. They will continue to damage. Before you finish settling the riverside, to come back to the city, it's already late. Another place are already got. So the fact is that they need, if they are setting a budget for a specific 2 or 3 county roads, it should be done one and for all.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
So
The
that the entire road thing
roads,
can be settled. But that's
yeah, I think I agree with you. The roads in the capital city, I think there's a reason why every country has a capital, and that is the face of the country. So if the roads in Morovia or Montserrat County are deplorable, and that gave the wrong signal as to development of the country, especially as you said, partners, who are funding these road projects, and they're right in the city, and they're applying the street. They have employees that are giving report to them as to what is happening in most of our county. So if the capital is not well connected in terms of road, it's a problem. I have a judge who tells me he takes about 5 hours to go to court almost every day, and then take about almost 5 hours to get home. So I was asking if you can use 10 hours just to travel. That's something that we all wondered about. Doing that
that's
day in and day out, there's a very serious problem with that. We hope that those who are leading or governing the country will also take these matters very seriously. We can only report these events, and I think that's what you guys are doing. We appreciate you. For the light situation, that's a major issue too, and we hope that we get more details. I think we need to bring uh, a video coverage of that to Liberian to see what is happening with red light situation. That's a street light situation. So it's not about just putting light, to convince our people that there are red lights in the streets, major street corners, but to know that the red light or the street lights are working properly. Because, like you said, traffic, if like in the states here, you cannot even give 1 minute of confusion. I mean, you can have red lights coming on from the other end, you have red light coming from the other end. You're going to have people doing their own thing. These are self-regulatory thing. If you place a street light up, it means then that drivers are following just that light. So when they get there, if the green light is on, everybody going to move the direction they're moving. So indeed, we need to just bring some short video recording us to what you just spoke about, on the street light. But let's go to there's a human rights situation in the country. Do you care to talk about that, Ibrahim, before we go to Langston?
yes, yes, yeah. Quickly to the human rights issue. Was on yesterday when a human rights groups that has been uh, cheered by T1K, stressing the need for the justice system of our country, or probably the justice arm of our country, which happen to deal with the temple of justice, those separate courts that fall within the confines of within the temple of justice or the judiciary arm of our country, to take into key consideration that the issue of pre-trial detainees,
Hmm.
if you are pleading that the prison is being overcrowded because those pre-trial detainees and those who have been found guilty and charged for, probably life imprisonment or 2 3 years imprisonment, they are not to be played the same way. A person should be tried, according to him, a person should be tried before being taken to court. But if you say, oh, you putting your case on docket, and then you're going to jail and then we're starting your case, at the end of the day, you find out the person get credit, and it will lead to a situation that probably they could bug the place one day, and then you get the prison bugger right, people flee the place and all of you. It happened back in months back in my county where I hear from Bone County. The place got overcrowded to the extent that the people started calling on, the county stakeholders to call on national government so that they can transfer some of those people, perpetrators who are already being charged. with the Devon Tide is supposed to sell for, it should be transferred to a center, but they played there yet until it resulted into where a burger riot took place. Those prisoners soon then left, and it caused serious harm because it will harm the environment in a sense that if the burger riot place, where do they go? They go and just harm people and just do what it's supposed to do to get themselves out of the place. So he stressed the need. He called on the court arm of the government to see reason that if a pre-trial detainees can be trial for the first time, probably the second time before going to court or being charged and sent to the cell can be done, but it should be kept. They should be kept within the confines of the police before taking them to their center.
Okay, I think we will reach out to the Justice Ministry. I will talk to some of the officials from that angle of government. But I think these are all governing issues, and I hope that those who are listening from the arm of government, wherever they sit, to look at some of these issues. This morning, public works, that's roads, street lights. Those are concerning issues in talking about pretrial detention, and we also need to hear from the Justice Ministry on some these human rights issues. But before you leave, let's talk to Langston. Langston, welcome again. You were in speech before you went off, and I guess you were about to talk about the bridge situation, the road situation in Maryland County.
Yes. There is an area called Feloken, and Feloken is located in electoral district number 2, particularly in the Barabo statutory district. Electoral district number 2 comprises of 2 statutory districts, that is the Kalwe and Barabo. And Feloken is one of the towns that those missionaries are settled before. So according to the town chief, Orozco Nimle, the road rehabilitation began since 2019, and the project is part of the African Development Bank sponsored project in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture as part of. So it was in 2019 that they began the rehabilitation of the bridge, where they have to build about 18 covers and 3 bridges on the road. And the town I'm talking about is about 120 plus kilometers from Plibo. Okay. Since then, the first contractors, according to him, ran away. He did not complete the project and he ran away. So the Ministry of Public Works was able to contract another contractors. And you have more than one contracting firm on the road currently. But since the road began in 2019, there had not been any progress made. In fact, prior to the commencement of the rehabilitation, vehicles used to reach that town, but right now you cannot have cars reaching the town except people who are managing with motorcycles. So as a result of that, they are buying a kilo of rice about 200 or 250 Liberian dollars, which is about $125 in Plibo or $150 if the price increases. So there are difficulties they are facing, and the area is far from River G Fish Town and is far from Plibo in terms of referral because they have a clinic there responding to the health need of the community. But the idea or the means of taking medical products or supplies there is difficult because everything is on the motorcycle and it takes, skillful riders to get at that area. Wow. So they are calling on the Maryland County Authority and the Ministry of Public Works to intervene and prevail on those contractors who are currently undertaking the project to complete the road so that those at that area can have access, to the main road so that they can come and buy some of those basic goods and other services. Now, as it relates to the bridge.
Yeah, we saw you, right. We saw you, I don't know, the Kodawa Market Bridge. You care to tell us something about that?
Yes. as it relates to the market bridge,
Yeah.
it is between Loken and other communities linking the district. We are told that there are several communities behind here and there where those residents of Feloken are making their farms. So it means that those guys, including the children, have to cross that bridge you have seen
Right.
on a daily basis just to go and win bread.
Wow.
So the German government, as partner to the let's say to the Liberian government, have decided to construct a bridge there, and in fact conducted assessment in 2019, where the Maryland County Superintendent also broke ground for the construction of the market at that area. But since then, there had not been a team going to initiate the construction because of the bad road condition. So they are saying that everything is tied to the road. And as I'm telling you, Mr. Jason, I was not even able to pass on that bridge because it's terrible.
Yeah, no, we
Very
saw that
fearful.
bridge is very, very terrible.
Yes, you have few pieces of reed with tata and few cables on it holding it, and those cables you cannot tell how long they have been there,
Right,
whether they are rusted,
right,
and you
right.
got what the water is racks all under the bridge. So if you fall from there, it means that something different will happen.
Another thing that interests me
But
on that bridge, yeah, listen, another thing that interests me when I look the surrounding of that bridge, the river is very muddy. It's like people are doing mining, and that river being a major river, the tributaries going all in those villages, I just assume that there's no safe drinking water for the people in that part of Liberia. How will you describe that situation?
Exactly. There are dredge miners in the area, especially Ghanaians, who are mining at the upper part of the river.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm told that the river used to be the water from the river was used by those residents for other domestic reasons, but they no longer use it because it's been contaminated with this fuel. And sometimes some of those guys use mercury in the water, which is
Wow.
harmful to the human. Currently, according to the town chief, they have just one functional hand pump, and when it rains, that hand pump you will not get better water from it because it's like taking water also from the river. So it will be directly as compared to that on the ground, that the water that's rolling on the ground. So there is a need, according to them, to have some of those pumps in the area rehabilitated or construct new pumps.
We also heard
So
that
according to them, several of them are taken from those smaller creeks around the town.
we also heard from that interview that someone from the office of the president, Finabono, is also mining on the upper part of that river. Is that correct?
Yes, I was told by one of a local businessmen there. Madam Fina Bono is the chief of protocol at the executive mansion, and it is yet to be verified whether it is true or she has a dredge there or she doesn't have it. But I think that is the assignment we have to do a follow up to ensure whether she has a dredge there, because if it is so, then it means that there is a need to improve that road.
Okay, not only improve the road, but the living condition of the people. If you have, and that's a major environmental issue. I don't know whether people, the different department of government, meaning ministries and agencies, are really taking these people, living condition of the people into consideration before they can even consider someone to mine in the area. You have a group of villagers or people living along the river. Their survival, their everyday drinking water surrounds that river. If you have a very big river and that river serves or give a route to other smaller creeks or something where people have to go and fetch water, that should be concerning to everybody. That is also something we look at. The lifespan of people. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Langston. Hello, Langston. Langston, are you there? Okay, let's talk to Abraham a little bit. Abraham, we are talking about roles in most of our countries. Let me
Yes.
just ask you a question. I will come back to you, Langston. Abraham, if we look at the government has about 2 more years to go. Do you think most of our roles going to be better in the next 1 or 2 years?
I can tell you for free, Mr. Jensen, it won't be because there are lots of connection that needed to be done, that needed to be paved in the proper way that the citizens can use to to do their businesses locally within the city. But I can tell you for free that in the last 2 years, if they have been fair to the Liberian people, they can do the work. But the fact is that in the next 2 years, no, they won't complete the project because, like I said, they will allow the situation, when the money comes, they will play dead here to it as a damaging. Before you wake up to go and kill the other sickness start to come. So
Right.
as soon as you use the finance you get for this that is supposed to kill your entire body, you use it for just a portion, you will find out that at the end of the day you still have to go for another money again to clean the other side. So it's almost like if a money is being given for a specific purpose or specific tax, it should be used for that purpose. So I can tell you for free that in the next 2 years, if you work tirelessly, they will complete 75%, but not
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to be following all on that. Langston, you were in speech when you had internet problem. Yeah. So I was wondering about Maryland County. The county senators, representatives, whether you have ever spoken to any of them as to the condition of road and the environmental hazard in terms of these dredging or mining on this area. Have you ever spoken to any of the officials?
The people only available are those from the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Normally, we find it difficult difficult getting to some of those representing the other ministries, agencies, and commissions. For the fact that some of them do not have offices here, but the Ministry of Land and Mine is fully responsible for the monitoring of those mining activities.
Right.
And the Environmental Protection Agency should ensure that those people who are dwellers of those areas are in a better, healthy position.
Right.
Moreover, if there is any mine done at that area, those people owe to the people the basic social responsibilities that will better up their life, as we are talking about respond to safe drinking water, to school, to road, all of that. I think that should be their responsibility as people who are taking the mineral or the resources of that area as a payback or give back to those people of the area. So we will do our best to ensure whether the Ministry of Land Mines is monitoring the mining areas, and the Environmental Protection Agency are ensuring that those people are living a better life and prevent them from those areas that they should not have been mining. Remember that after mining that river, like I have an experience of one other area in Beseken. Those guys mine on the river until they have started eating up the land space. That tells you that
Wow.
after mining, there will be no way that people cultivate that area for farming purpose. So there is a need for thorough monitoring of those people, and they give back to the society what is needed. So we make an all-out effort in getting those guys so that they can be brought to this platform also.
Okay, that's very good. We hope to hear a lot more from anyone you can talk to. It could be the miners. Probably they are paying their fair share to the government, and the government itself is not really paying attention to the people's plight. And these are concerns that we will keep emphasizing. The lifespan of people can be shortened as a result of some of these decisions. And the purpose for governance is to make sure that people have life and they live to the fullest. Habir, we will follow up on those developments. We want to say thank you so much this morning, and let's see whether we can hear some closing comments from the two of you. Let's start with Ibrahim. Ibrahim, yeah, looking at Maserati is a very big county and the capital city of the country. And we appreciate all you guys bringing us this information. The street light, we're going to follow up on that. Likewise, the human rights. So, give us your closing comment.
Well, so like we usually say.
Yes. Partners in Liberia is a global health institution. On yesterday, a pharmacy to hospital here, according to
I think you have another device on there.
No.
I'm hearing an echo.
Yes, I'm thinking where the echo because it's now.
What's up with you, Abraham?
It's not from my
I don't have any device on. So let me just mute myself and then he can continue.
Okay, let's hold on right there. Let's talk to Abraham. Ibrahim, what's your closing comment? Hello, Ibrahim? Okay, listen, let's go back to you because like Ibrahim is.
Yes, just as I was saying.
Right.
The renovation of that pharmacy was prompted due to what the institution called the lack of larger space to have the needed medication stored at that facility. It demands with the patient's need. So on yesterday, the institution was able to hand over that pharmacy newly furnished to the local health authority in the county, and Dr. Methodius George, who's the county health officer, said he was glad to have received such an assistance from Partners in Health and promised to use that pharmacy for its intended purpose. So as we speak currently, J.J. Dawson has benefited the rehabilitation of one of the INSIDEs which has been dilapidated for some years ago.
Okay, Livingston, thank you so much. We will come back to Maryland, our next edition on Monday, and we want to know the health situation, the bridge. That's what I'm talking about. We have to know that. That's what I'm talking about. We have to know that somebody is having. Okay, so Ibrahim, let's take a final comment.
Well, Mr. Jensen, quickly, I would like to say, it will interest you on Tuesday that the lower house session got interrupted by District 10 lawmaker Representative Yeke Koluba. I mean, in returns of not receiving his benefits as interim, since he took his case to court, and then being withdraw of the matter since he came back to session, he haven't received his benefit. And then on yesterday on state radio, the chairman the executive committee at the lower house, who happen to be district number 8 representative, Honorable Moses Akairos Gray, he said that the honorable man Yeke Koluba received all of his legislative benefit with only a 2-month salaries being owed him by the institution. So it was like kind of a noisy on Tuesday. So as it stands, Honorable Yeke Koluba
Okay, Abraham, we will reach out to Honorable Yake Kolibat and get some more details.
It won't be easy at the capital building. So people want to see how the session going to be like. So my final word is that peace remain peace will remain our common thing that we Liberians should exhibit. We should love and care for one another. Liberia is all we have of pushing our country forward.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. At this stage, we end this broadcast, and for our viewers, we apologize for the interruption of the broadcast. Until next Monday, stay tuned to a radio. We will be here bringing pieces of information for your. So have a nice day as we.